Hello my dear students, this is Nikhil from Careermudhra, Bangalore. So in this video, we are going to discuss about the two attempts of JEE and how it's going to be beneficial for you, which attempt is more easier to score in. So we are going to compare all the facts and data so that you can know which is the best attempt for you. Without further ado, let's dive into the video. So as we can see, the competition level in January first attempt of JEE in 2023, there were around 8,60,000 students that had registered. And in April attempt, we can see that a lot of other students had also appeared, approximately 9,31,334 students. And in 2024, in the first attempt, that was in the January, around 12,31,874 students had appeared, and in 2024 the April attempt we can see around 12,80,569 students had appeared. In 2025, both January and April attempt, it was a joint, the registration was joint for both of them. So we can see there were 13 lakh students who had appeared approximately, and we can see that in April always there are more students appearing. This is what we can see. Even in 2025 April, 10 lakh 61 student had appeared. Now moving on, now let's discuss about the difficulties in both the attempt. Okay, the difficulty level of the paper. In 2023, we can see the overall paper was medium in the January attempt. In the April attempt, what we can see is in 2023, the overall paper was medium to difficult. Now moving on to 2024, as we can see the overall paper of 2024 was medium again. Again in April 2024, we can see the paper had gone again in the medium because JEE practices the normalization process. So if the paper is difficult for one student, it will be difficult for other students as well. Now again in 2025, we can see the overall difficulty of the paper was around medium, and same thing happened in April where it was medium to difficult. Now moving on to the next thing, which is the cutoff scores. Now what are the JEE mains cutoff score? Let's discuss about that. In the January attempt, the cutoff score was of 90 percentile, as you can see, 90.77 percentile. The highest was 106 to get this 90 percentile, and the highest in 2023 April attempt we can see is of 110. The total difference is of 4 marks. Okay, and the lowest is 74. The lowest over here in April attempt was 85. The difference again was of 11 marks. So you can see the difference in the marks over here. Okay, now moving on to 2024. In 2024, a student had to get 93.23 percentile in order to be eligible. Now, seeing this, the highest one was of 155. The lowest score was of 91. Again, over here in 2024, we can see the highest was of 149 and the lowest was of 117. So, as we can see, both the percentile are the same, isn't it? It's because JEE practices the normalization process in their examination setting. And overall, if we are going to see in lowest, there was a jump of 26 marks in 2024. Now moving on to 2025, in 2025 we can see the highest was of 127 and the percentile that we can see is of 93.10, and same over here in the April attempt as well. The highest was of 127 in the January attempt. The same percentile, to get the same percentile, a student had to score 135 in the April attempt of 2025. So there was a difference of 8 marks. Now moving on to the lowest was 85. Again, lowest was 106 in the April attempt. So there was a difference of 21 marks. So a student had to score 21 marks extra in order to get this percentile of 93.10. Now moving on to next, how much should a person score in order to get 99 percentile? Let's discuss and analyze this by taking the 2023 January attempt and the April attempt. The highest score was of 189 in order to score 99 percentile, and over here it was of 200. So the overall difference was of 11 marks. Now moving on to the lowest, which is 155 in the January attempt of 2023, and the lowest marks over here was 161 in the April attempt. There was again difference of 6 marks. Now moving on to 2024 year, in that to score 99 percentile, the highest marks was of 235, and in 2024 it had the April attempt, it was 265. So we can see again there's a difference of 20. Okay, now moving on to the lowest marks 156, and the lowest marks in the April attempt to score 99 percentile was of 186. Again, there was a difference of 30 marks. Same pattern we can see in 2025 as well. In 2025, there was around 200 marks. If a student had scored, then he could have got it 99 percentile. In the April attempt, they had to score 203. There was a 3 mark difference. And in the lowest, as you can see, there's a very wide range. From 148, it had gone to 172. Again, there's a range of 24 difference. Now, what is the score you need to get in order to get into the tier 1 NITs of India? So, NIT Trichinapalli 99 percentile, 99.9. So, in that, in the January attempt, if a student had scored anywhere between 215 to 260, they could have easily gotten in. Now, the same thing in the April attempt, the student had to score 230 to 260. Now moving on to the next NIT, which is NIT Surathkal, which is there in Karnataka, 99.9 percentile again. Again, we can see the score is same, 215 to 260 in the January, and in April it was 230 to 260. Same thing goes with NIT Warangal, 99.9 percentile. The score is same. Now moving on to the next NIT, which is NIT Rolgal, which is the bottommost NIT of the tier 1. In that we can see 99.9 percentile. If you had a score of anywhere between 195 to 245, you could easily get a CSE branch. And in the April attempt, you had to score 215 to 245. Let's compare both the attempts, January and the April attempt. Which one would be more beneficial for you and what would be the timeline? Okay, so in January attempt, there is only 2 months to go as it's already November. And in April attempt, there is approximately 4 months to go. And in January attempt, one disadvantage is that the board exam pressure would definitely be there. In April attempt, board exam pressure might not be there, but there would be other exam pressures like KCET, Comet K, and if you're a PCMB student, even if you're planning to write NEET, so that is another thing. And over here in January attempt, because the competition, because there is more board exam, lot of students do not write the January attempt. Hence, there is less competition over here, and it's easier to crack. While as over here, there is less stress, and there is perfect time to learn for and fix your mistakes. So what happens is, since April, as we can see, there are the conditions are more favorable. So we can see the competition is slightly higher in the April attempt compared to the January attempt. So always try to do it in the January attempt if possible, because even the droppers usually attempt during the time of April. Now moving on to the next slide, I have prepared a timeline over here to explain you the same thing that I have told you earlier. Now, as we know, it's already November. Okay, there are 2 months, and then January first attempt is always there for the mains. Then again 2 months, the second attempt is there. Okay, if for example you're planning to go for the second attempt, then you would only have 40 days for JEE Advance. And JEE Advance in itself is a very difficult exam. As you might be knowing, it's of 360 marks. It has two different attempts, again of 180 each. So only 40 days would be there for you to prepare. Now what I usually suggest the students is usually finish it off in the January attempt. So you'll be having 3.5 months to prepare for the advanced examination of JEE. Now moving on to the next slide. Okay, so why should you keep 3.5 months of preparation for JEE Advance? Because if you are a genuine student who wants to get into an IIT, okay, let me just put this fact into you that the cutoff is just 74 out of 360. Approximately every year 1.8 lakh students appear for the examination of advance, and only 30,000 students get 74 marks out of 360. So it's very less. Around 1.5 lakh students usually don't even get the cutoff marks. Now let's talk about the different IITs, what is their cutoff score for the CSE and the lower branches. Moving on to the tier 1 NITs, sorry IITs, IIT Bombay, we can see the marks needed is 307 and the rank is 66. IIT Guwahati, we can see 218 marks is required for a CSE branch. And if you're looking for any last branch like civil, chemical, metallurgy, all these branches, you can get a score of 126 and you can get a seat over there in IIT Bombay, and in IIT Guwahati with 117 also you can get the seat. Now moving on to tier 2 IITs. In tier 2 IITs, we can see IIT BHU Varanasi, where the marks is of 194 and the rank is of 1400, 1489. And the last branch like civil, chemical, all these branches you can get with 106 also. Moving on to the IIT Bhubaneswar, which is the other IIT of tier 2, we can see over here 218 marks are required for getting CSE, and if you're looking for chemical, 101 mark is also more than enough. So what do we think about this video? At the end, this is my conclusion to you, that both attempts are equally important. Now it depends on when you start preparing. Okay, first attempt usually has lower competition and is easier to crack, so I usually suggest people to go for the January attempt. Now, because if you go for the January attempt, you get more time in JEE Advance so that you can crack and get into a good IIT. So thank you. If you have any queries, you can contact me. Kindly do subscribe to our channel if you felt this content was helpful.